Now we move along, and between them Sunshine and St George last week conceded 10 goals and only managed 1. Calling a round 4 match vital to the morale of both clubs was Mike Hill.
Well, here we are at the Skinner Reserve in Sunshine. It's our very first visit here. It's the new home ground of Sunshine George Cross. Well, this time last week, Sunshine George Cross were at the top of the league, but they suffered a 3-1 defeat at the hands of Sydney, Croatia, which has moved them down to 3rd spot. They've made 2 changes in this lineup. Sean Parton is out through suspension. Gary Hasler moves to the bench. The players coming in, Chris Ketsakidis back from suspension, and David Clarkson. Well, St George suffered a 7-0 defeat last week at the hands of league leaders Marconi. Frank Harper, though, has resisted change and names an unchanged side. It's a big day this afternoon now for young John Filan. The St George young goalkeeper, beaten 7 times last week. One wonders how his nerves will be. Our referee this afternoon is John Sander Isabel from Melbourne. He celebrated his 36th birthday this week, and away from soccer, he's a bank manager. Sunshine George Cross in the all-red outfit gets underway. They're kicking from right to left in the first half. St George today in a change strip of all white. This is Craig Foster, a good burst forward in the opening seconds. That time he was blocked. And now Zoran Ilic. Big test this afternoon for both of these sides. Both coming off defeats last weekend. Early touch for John Filan, he'll appreciate that. Now Mike O'Shea. Forward for Craig Moffitt. Good news for St George is that Andy Kotska should be fit for next weekend. Certainly they've missed his driving force in midfield. It really is a young St George side. So a throw for St George, taken by Mike O'Shea. Most experienced player in the St George side. Here's Scott Ollerenshaw. Now Moffitt. Scott Ollerenshaw losing out that time to Campelj. There getting the ball back from Harper. Now Ollerenshaw. Scotty Ollerenshaw whipping that one in, away by Waddell. Morakeas, young fullback. Waddell again for rescue for Sunshine George Cross. Certainly they looked impressive in the early stages last week against Sydney, Croatia. And here's an early chance. Good challenge that from Green, and it came off of Paul Foster in the end. And rebounding nicely for John Filan. But it's been a bright opening from Sunshine George Cross. Jim Morakeas. Clarkson was in there first. David Clarkson just trying to push that one forward for Ossie Latif, leading goal scorer this season for Sunshine George Cross with 4 goals. Jim Morakeas. Forward there by Ketsakidis. Paul Lewis. Being closely shadowed there by young Jim Morakeas. Jim Morakeas, who cemented a place in the St George side this season with the transfer of Mike Grabevsky. Now Jeff Faulkner. Oh, he gets through so much work in there. Here's Ossie Latif. He was onside. St George there looking for the offside decision. He wasn't forthcoming, and John Filan was alert to the situation. They really need time to settle. David Green decides to go forward. This fails to keep the ball in play, so the throw goes to Sunshine George Cross. It's only other match here at the Skinner Reserve. It was a 2-0 victory over South Melbourne a couple of weeks ago. John Waddell. Mistake there by Spanoudakis. Here's Ossie Latif. Faced there by Green, still Ossie Latif. Past David Green, hooking that one across. John Filan got down so well. But Ossie Latif already to start cause a few problems for the St George defenders. Good swift break that, he got it across the goal well, and John Filan reacted quickly. George will be looking for a big game this afternoon from Craig Moffitt in midfield. Player with the driving force, the player to supply the chances for Matthew Bingley and Scott Ollerenshaw and Zoran Ilic. Lewis there was the player bundled down. Free kick quickly taken. Here's Paul Foster. Good run from midfield from Paul Foster. And he got the all-important touch, but couldn't keep the ball down. But St George there were caught with a quick free kick. And Foster there got there before the keeper and hooked it over the bar. But Paul Foster's looked so sharp this afternoon and is so dangerous, breaking from those deep midfield positions. Shot was just over the bar. Tony Krslovic hooking that one in. No worries there for Ketsakidis. Krslovic caught late by Ketsakidis. So a free kick to St George. So Tony Krslovic scored for St George on the opening day of the season in a 1-1 draw against Blacktown. He's the player to take this free kick. Trying to drive it and catch Keogh out of position, but the goalkeeper was awake to that situation. Got across quickly, got his body behind the ball. Craig Foster, looking for Paul Foster. Foster there trying the shot. Watched all the way there by John Filan. Morakeas now in the right back position. Zoran Ilic. Moves out to Ketsakidis. Foster. Now Ossie Latif, the offside flag up against Ketsakidis. Touch and go decision that. Knowledge there by Johnson Isabella. And Scotty Ollerenshaw. Good touch inside to Moffitt. Still Craig Moffitt. Into the path there of Bingley and Ilic. The offside flag was up, in fact, against Zoran Ilic. St George so dangerous on the break. It's a good run on the far side from Matthew Bingley. And in fact, Zoran Ilic was the player who had wandered into an offside position. Now to bring it out of defence. Ball forward. And Spanoudakis, the player under pressure. Here's Ossie Latif. Tied it up in the end by Morakeas. Sunshine making good advantage of this breeze in the first half. Craig Moffitt losing out to Jeff Faulkner. Still Faulkner eventually stopped. Morakeas forward. John Waddell there misjudging the ball. It really is difficult for the players. Though the wind is favouring Sunshine George Cross, it's more of a swirling breeze. As here's Lewis, and he's broken the offside trap, faced by the keeper and denied by the keeper. Well, again, it was the long ball forward out of defence. And this time, Paul Lewis had taken up a good position. Eluded Shea, denied there by John Filan. And certainly there's no sign of nerves from the young St George keeper. And Jim Morakeas. Craig Moffitt. Certainly when Sunshine George Cross don't have the ball, they mark very tightly. Craig Moffitt there had no options. But here's Harper going away from his marker. But he was quickly surrounded by red shirts. John Waddell leads the charge forward. Zoran Ilic was the player coming back. And Spanoudakis. Way by Roodhouse. Craig Foster releasing Paul Foster. Another opportunity for Sunshine George Cross, and David Green was the player getting back quickly. Well, Craig Foster's having a big influence in midfield, and he's combining so well with his brother Paul Foster. So his runs from deep are causing all sorts of problems for the St George defenders, and that time it was David Green chasing back to the rescue. Ernie Merrick, in the centre of your picture, the coach of Sunshine George Cross. John Waddell away. Bingley forward again. Offside, in fact, against Craig Moffitt. Krslovic, who scored the goal the last time these two teams met here in Melbourne. Disputing the decision. Now Chris Ketsakidis in the side today in the absence of Sean Pardon, who's out through suspension. He was sent off in Sydney last week. Rather unfortunately. Here's David Clarkson. Settled in well to his new surroundings since his transfer from Adelaide City. Never really settled in Adelaide. House from Brisbane originally. This is a good... David Clarkson gets his first goal for his new club. He started that run inside his own half. The finishing there was clinical, and John Filan is beaten. But David Clarkson, who I was saying has settled so well into his new surroundings, sends those Sunshine fans into delight. The goal coming after 18 minutes. For David Clarkson, his first goal for his new club. He eluded the challenges and took on the responsibility himself. A left-footed shot. John Filan is beaten. 18 minutes gone. Sunshine George Cross 1, St George 0. So David Clarkson, his first ever goal in the National Soccer League. And he'll be happy with that. And so are the Sunshine supporters. They're now in fine voice. So it really will be a test of character now for this St George side. Beaten last weekend. Trailing now by an early goal. Here's Ollerenshaw, but it was tied up by John Waddell. Now Paul Foster. Inside for Craig Foster. Good skills there from the midfielder. Referee there trying to play the advantage. One of the St George players is down. There was a clash, but both players had their feet high. Now Ollerenshaw. I haven't seen too much of Scotty Ollerenshaw this afternoon for St George. They'll be looking for him to get more involved in the match. St George player still down. I think it's Manny Spanoudakis. As we look at that incident again, feet high from both players, and the referee, they're trying to play the advantage, and the clash there purely accidental. Manny Spanoudakis. Clarkson. Craig Foster trying to get in there before Craig Moffitt. This is Paul Foster. Now John Campelj. Challenge came in on David Clarkson from Andy Harper. Andy Harper had spells at Sydney Olympic and at Sydney City. Chris Ketsakidis. Now Lewis. A lovely touch there into the path of Paul Foster. Still Paul Foster. And he was obstructed. And that's going to be the first booking for Manny Spanoudakis. Lewis there was on his way through. In fact, it was Foster, the player, who was body checked by Manny Spanoudakis, and he goes in the referee's notebook. Craig Foster over the ball. Latif, doing that one hard and low, hooks away there by Craig Moffitt. Now Zoran Ilic. Offside flag up again against Ossie Latif. St George coming out quickly. Morakeas. Morakeas. Stopped by John Waddell. Lewis is forward. Foster again with that run from midfield. Here goes Paul Foster. David Green's the player in pursuit. Still Foster across the face of goal. Touched away by the keeper. Against David Clarkson. David Clarkson, his second goal of the afternoon. His second goal ever in the National Soccer League. But Paul Foster here did so well. And David Clarkson, Johnny on the spot. 39 minutes gone now in the first half. Sunshine George Cross 2, St George 0. Here's Craig McGregor, his first touch since coming on as substitute. Now watch now, we're playing stoppage time at the end of the first half. Here's Mike O'Shea. Ollerenshaw. Now Moffitt. Andy Harper. George would like to get one goal in before half-time to give them some uplift in their confidence for the second half. Alexander Isabel checks his watch. Now watch now, we've played 90 seconds of stoppage time. Here's Ollerenshaw. Well, was charged down by Roodhouse. His clearance only goes as far as Andy Harper as the half-time whistle goes. The first half that has certainly delighted the Sunshine George Cross supporters. They took the lead after 18 minutes from a goal from David Clarkson, and it was David Clarkson again who was Johnny on the spot in the 39th minute to give us a half-time scoreline here at the Skinner Reserve.